back for another weekly outlook. I haven't posted in a while. As many of you know, in December, I went overseas back to my home country of Australia for about 3 and a bit weeks. I was still trading, but I wasn't just very active. I was just sort of enjoying time with friends, family, catching up with everyone I haven't seen for a few years. But I'm back to obviously doing updates now. There's quite a few setups looking really, really good as we move into the new week. So going forward, I'll be back to posting on Sundays for a weekly outlook, and then again on Wednesdays for like a midweek sort of market review and market outlook. That way you guys can, have some nice setups to trade and get back to making some money just off these videos, and hopefully, it teaches you something along the way as well. So before I jump into the charts, I want to look at the news quickly. So for some reason, it's only loading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but looking at these 3 days is really only a few things I want everyone to sort of be aware of. Monday, really nothing there. There's some unemployment rate news for Euro that usually doesn't do much, guys. There's some GDP retail sales news. Again, typically doesn't really do much. Tuesday, same thing, really not much to worry about with unemployment. However, we do have a Fed Chair Powell speech releasing at 8 a.m., which is the New York Open. Anytime the Fed Powell talks, you want to be aware and try and just be a little cautious with taking positions around this time, as a lot of times we might see some manipulation, some wicking, things like that. So last thing you want to do is not be aware of this. You take a position and you get wicked out, and then it just shoots in your favorite direction. Whereas if you waited, you might be able to avoid that. All right. So just try and be patient around that. Retail sales here, again, really nothing you need to be aware of. But we do have AUD releasing the monthly CPI indicator. Generally, anything to do with CPI will have some sort of volatility in the market. So just be aware of that. That is going to be during the Asia session. And then Wednesday, again, nothing really here. Now, Thursday, Friday aren't showing for some reason. I don't know if there's just no news or the site hasn't posted it yet. I'm not sure, but we'll cover that on Wednesday anyways. All right. So coming into the new year, obviously you guys know in the mentorship channel, in the paid mentorship group, I cover and give signals on all of these pairs, okay? CAD JPY, GBP USD, USD CAD, GJ, NU, and then EN. Those are my favorite pairs to trade, and I give all updates, daily videos, and signals all on those. But here in the public Discord, I just kind of post a video or two a week, just kind of sharing my outlook on a few extra pairs. Okay, obviously I don't post signals in here or anything like that. But maybe you guys will learn something from these videos, which a lot of you do. That's why you message me, or a lot of you message me saying such things, which is great. So covering the pairs I'm really interested in, or I've been lately trading on the side that I've really, really liked, are AUD Swiss. I've really grown to like this pair over like the last month and a half of sort of back testing it and trading it a little bit here and there. Obviously AUD USD I really like. Euro AUD I'm a bit of a fan of. USD Swiss is another pair I like to trade here and there. And then AUD CAD is very quickly becoming one of my favorite pairs. I love CAD pairs, and I've also realized that I love AUD pairs. I like the way they move. But AUD CAD is definitely, like, this is a pair I've made a lot of money on between November and December. Like, I think I made like well over 18-20% on this pair alone in November and December combined. Like, to do 20%, 30% in a month is like, that's pretty standard for me across like 5 or 6 pairs. But between November and December, I easily did almost 20% just on this month on this pair within those 2 months, which is awesome. I love this pair. So definitely gonna be covering this as well. All right, so AUD Swiss. Very interested in possible sells from this level here, this 0.63800 level here today, market open, or as we head into the new week, right? So obviously clear patterns here, printing 0.63800 key level. The 4 hour and the 2 hour aren't really showing much right now in terms of price action. Not really a fan of what I'm seeing. What I would like to see here, of course, this could always break higher, right? But right now my bias on this pair is I am looking for sells. What I would like to see here would be something sort of like this on the 30-minute or preferably the hourly. If I can get something like this, then I'm looking at, again, back down to my next zone around 0.63 thousand. That's a nice 1 to 4. Easy 1 to 4, right? And then from there, I could look to maybe hedge and buy this thing, take it to the highs, or maybe it will break even lower and I could see 0.62 thousand hit, and I could easily see a 1 to 8. Very quickly, trades can go from a 1 to 3 to a 1 to 8. It's very quickly, as long as you just understand how to read price action. So coming into the new week, I am looking at this pair for a possible sell. But on the possibility that it does break higher, then I'll simply be looking for a break, a retest of this 0.63800 level to take this up into like 0.645 and then 0.65 thousand, which is a really easy, clean trade. So we have options here, but definitely, as we head into Sunday with Asia, or even maybe into Monday, keep an eye on this pair for a possible setup here, okay? AUD USD, very, very similar outlook right now. Looking for sells. A lot of AUD pairs are lining up, even EA, which I'll cover. So again, very, very similar setup, right? I'm looking for sells on this pair. I mean, honestly, if this hadn't have been market close, I probably would have taken a sell position just off of this. Now, obviously, because that was the final close on Friday, we can't take that because of gaps and spreads and it being market close. So I'll be looking for another possible entry upon something sort of like this if it gives. I mean, if I can get something like this on like the 30-minute or the 1 hour, again, very similar sort of outlook on AUD Swiss, I'll be looking for a possible sell from this level. Again, something like this. Take this down to my next zone. It's a nice little 1 to 3. And then if it breaks lower from there, down to my next region of the 0.67200, that's a nice 1 to 7, 1 to 8. Again, very, very similar setups, right? Now, if this does not play out, if it ends up breaking higher, I'll simply look for a break retest to take this into the highs of like the 0.7 thousand. I think that's our next area we'll hit if we break higher. All just kind of depends on where AUD pairs go this week. Like I said earlier, a lot of AUD pairs are showing a correlation, is showing, very similar setups. An example of that is Euro AUD. I'm looking for buys, whereas on these cross pairs, I'm looking for sells. These are negatively correlated, so it makes sense. There was a fake out here last week at 1.5 for 500. Retesting here, I'm looking for buys here. Upon something like this, either preferably on the 1 hour. I would like to see something like this on the 1 hour, honestly. I'll be watching a 30-minute, but again, preferably on the 1 hour. If I can get something like this, looks like a very, very clean buy setup, just up into my next zone of 1.56, sort of 500. It's a 1 to 5, just about. 1 to 4.5, 1 to 5, and then it could always break higher. So this would play out most likely in the instance that these pairs do break lower. Now, if you start seeing all these AUD pairs breaking higher, then maybe be a little bit patient here, because then that means that this could easily just still break lower. And if that does play out like that, and it does end up breaking lower, then simply boom and boom, we can look for sells down into 1.5 to 800 area. Okay, but as of right now, this is what I'm looking at. Of course, your goal as a trader is just to flow with the market. All right, it's just to simply flow with price and let the market show you where it's going, and then you just enter upon the proper patterns and price action upon those price points within the market. All right, a few other pairs I'm looking at. USD Swiss, I'm not really interested in right now. It just depends on where this goes. I believe we're probably going to see, we're going to see one of two scenarios. Either we're going to see a pullback into here, where we're going to see then a retest of 0.93, sort of 400, and then we'll see a move lower. Okay, I do have a similar outlook on DXY, which makes sense. Which would make sense for these long-term sort of, these short-term sells on maybe AU and AUD Swiss, right? If we were to get something like that. So otherwise, what we could see is a push deeper into this zone down here, where I'll be looking for possible buys upon rejections there. Okay, either way, a pair I'm probably gonna be looking at maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Like probably more so Tuesday or Wednesday, just because it does need a good amount of price action. It just depends on how price sort of lines up as it, and how fast it moves into the new week. All right, as things begin lining up, I do post in the public Discord. Okay, being like, I'm looking for sells from here or buys from here. As that is also, I mean, the whole point of the public Discord is to give the mentorship students extra pairs to trade on their own, outside the main 6 that I trade with them and for them. These are the ones I share signals on. But again, my goal is to create full-time traders, get you guys out of the 9 to 5, get you guys out of these cookie cutter bullshit courses that are all over the internet. I want to help you guys as much as I can. So, you can't live off of signals. You shouldn't. You should be aspiring to trade on your own, and that's exactly what I teach, is how to be an independent, full-time, successful trader who can make a good amount of money, right? AUD CAD, again, very similar to that first 3 pairs. Looking for possible sells from this 0.92500 level. Again, if this wasn't market close, I probably would have taken a sell here, if I'm being honest. This is very, very clean price action. So because I can't take a sell at that given time, I will be looking for further price action. Something like this on the 30-minute or the 1 hour. Again, very, very similar to these pairs, guys. Very, very similar setups. Now, one thing I want to add is if all of these begin to line up and play out, do not trade all of them, okay? Because they are all correlated. Sometimes one or two of these might fake out, might not give the best price action. Just trade one, because last thing you want to do is take a trade on all three and then they end up not playing out and you've just lost a shitload of money, okay? So only pick one or two. Only one or two might only play out, okay, or might only give the proper price action. But yeah, a nice little sell down into here. Again, something like this. Easy 1 to 3, and then from there we could look for possible hedges from this level here to take this higher. Again, something like that is a nice little 1 to 6, 1 to 7. Oh, sorry, a 1 to 5, 1 to 6. So we have options. All right, a lot of setups lining up as we move into this week. Now these pairs will fluctuate throughout the month, the year. Right now, I looked at like USD, JPY, and EJ, and I wasn't really interested in those. So every now and then I might swap some of these out for a pair that might look cleaner. But right now, these are looking very, very clean. So just be aware of that. Sometimes I might cover different pairs. There's some pairs I won't cover, like I won't cover Euro USD, as I don't really like trading that pair. I find it to be quite messy. So you guys see I won't really update on that much. But USD Swiss, which is negatively correlated, I do prefer to trade that. I find that pair moves a lot better. So again, as a trader, it's about finding out what works best for you in terms of trading, in terms of risk management, in terms of what pairs move. Like another pair I don't like to trade is GA, but I love to trade Euro NZD, and a lot of people don't like to trade that pair. So it's about figuring out what works for you and what pairs you have the best success on and understand the most, as every pair moves a little bit differently. So that's it for now, guys. Have a great week. I'll be posting throughout the week on setups that I'm looking at, things like that, in the public Discord, and I'll have another video out on Wednesday for midweek market review. As always, guys, make sure you guys are using a position size calculator. Risk management is the foundation of a successful and profitable trader. All right, without this, you won't be successful long term. All right, do not guess your lot sizes. Do this for every single setup you take, and make sure you follow strict risk management. Have a great week, guys, and I'll update throughout the week.